Yo, yo, yo! What's up, all you burners, stoners, and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Dandy.
Fine
How do you
and
like
dandy?
that? Dandy.
Dandy like candy?
Dandy like candy.
You like
yeah.
that?
Yeah. I do. I am dandy like candy.
You are, Dan. You do like candy. Hey, everybody out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman,
Yeah.
I'm ready to get stoned.
I am too.
We got a special strain from T the Tech.
Whoop, whoop.
Our tech grew his first strain called Ombre OG. And if you don't know who Ombre was the gorilla back in the day that the little boy fell into the canal in his little pen area. And the Ombre came and grabbed him and was dragging him, not to like hurt him.
At a zoo.
At the zoo, yeah.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people understood. I don't think he was trying to hurt the boy. I think he was like just didn't know, was pulling him out, and they wound up shooting, killing Ombre.
Why
Which
couldn't
is
they
sad.
just tranquilize him?
Who knows? They probably panicked, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he could have smushed the baby.
Oh,
in a
one
second.
shot. That was
Right.
I think the baby was only like 3 or 4 years old too. So, but
Was he a silverback?
yes,
Oh,
Yes.
we're gonna smoke in his honor
we are
today.
smoking in Ombre's honor, and
Ombre.
his strain that was named after him. So this is Ombre OG. So Mrs. Weedman, go ahead and take a hit of that.
Okay.
And this is a cross of Gorilla Glue 4 and Dead Head OG. And some other OG strains come up with the name Dead Gorilla OG or just Ombre OG. This OG strain keeps the sticky side of Gorilla Glue 4, earthy and pine flavors of OG, and the result is very high THC and strong strain to enjoy the attributes coming from both parents. So medicate responsibly, it says in the description. So I think it smells really good. I can smell it from here. It smells really nice. And this is his first strain. He did an auto strain. And if you don't know what an auto is, it's an auto strain where you don't really have to do much to it. You can set the light timer at one timer, and it just grows and it buds all on its own within like 60 days. So it's a little bit different than a photo, which is full 90 to 120 days, sometimes longer, depends on the strain. But so he did an auto strain because he wanted to see and test out what he can do, and if he screwed up, he really didn't mind. So, Mrs. Weedman, what do you think?
Well,
How's the taste?
I don't know. My taste buds, unfortunately, I have to take a medication daily, and the medication alters my taste buds. So it kind of sucks because I might have some taste buds at some point in the day. It might be like a couple bites of a meal, and then they disappear. So I don't know. I have no idea on that one.
Well, it does taste very earthy.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's smooth. It's clean. He cured it right because it didn't make me choke for his first time growing. And he did ask me a lot of questions and stuff, too, to help him out during this grow. And he also did a lot of reading. I would say it's very nice. Let's see how the high goes while we're doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
But T the Tech.
I know that when he brought it over, I could smell.
Oh, he got a great
my
smell.
smell is fine.
Yeah.
It's just my taste
the
that's
nose,
altered.
The nose is nice.
And it was really fragrant. It was really nice. But today, right now, my flavors aren't working.
Flavors are off a little bit. But I will say the taste is nice. Earthy, little hint of pine. I'm really excited, though, because it is a very mellow strain from what T was telling me, and I'm looking forward to this high, and hopefully after we do the show we smoke it a couple more times and it puts me right out. Because
What did we smoke the other night, and it was just not the right strain for bed?
I don't even
And we were
remember what
both
strain
just-
that was.
Yeah, and we
I
were both
grinded
staring
something
at the
up.
ceiling
I don't.
like,
Yeah, that was brutal on Saturday night when we needed to go to bed early so we can get up to do the Salt Shed Winter Glow Festival. We did a pop-up on Sunday, and we smoked this strain. I don't even know what it was in the tray, and I grinded it up a few nights ago, and I don't remember what it was. And it was more of a uppity strain. I was staring at the ceiling going, fuck, this sucks. And we were like looking at one another going, oh, geez. Because we were up till like 2 o'clock in the morning getting ready for the show, getting ready for the vendor fair. And it was our first one we've done in downtown Chicago. And it was great. It was a little chilly. But the Salt Shed, if you don't know what it is, it's a music venue that took over the old Morton Salt factory in downtown Chicago on Elston, just off of Division. And they are making it a music venue. The inside is not ready yet, but we had they did it outside in their outside area where they do music at, and where they did some shows over the summer. So it was nice. It was probably about, 30 vendors there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 vendors. They had a nice little, s'mores area you could do s'mores at, and they had
And
a little beer
bonfires.
garden and bonfires, and they had some vendors for food, and they had liquor, of course, and beer. But Mrs. Weedman and I we were the only cannabis company there, and we were the only ones selling cannabis, just tray set, our smoke set, accessories and stuff. So it was a good time. We networked with a lot of people, met a lot of cool people, and had some sales. It just wasn't very busy, and it wasn't the right crowd, would you say, Mrs. Weedman, for cannabis?
Yeah, I don't know if it. No, I felt like it was the right crowd for cannabis, but people were just in a really browsy mood. It was a whole kind of event. You had to have a ticket to get in. You could buy a ticket at the door. It wasn't sold out. It was heavily visited, but not jam packed. There's another big city event space like right down the block, and I would guess that place was probably hopping. And then a lot of the overflow probably came over by the salt shed. But anyway, it was a well-organized event.
Very
It was super fun.
Yeah.
They did have our tents heated for us because it was only about 40 degrees out yesterday.
It felt like it was like 20 degrees.
And the venue's super cool. It runs along the Chicago River, and then to the east, like the whole open side of the venue where we were at, between the building and the river, gives you this beautiful skyline view of the city.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet little spot.
Yeah.
So it was nice that we got to be part of it. It was a good experience.
Yeah, it was great.
A lot of people weren't shopping. There were games to play. There were food vendors. There were bonfires. You could get s'mores kits.
Yeah.
There was like a beer garden with picnic tables.
I think a lot of people went there just to enjoy the scene more so than shop. They enjoyed browsing because there was a lot of cool clothing vendors there.
A lot of vintage clothing.
If you like vintage clothing, there was some dope
good stuff.
Like people taking clothes but adding their artwork to it too. So I got to say, I'm really impressed with the Salt Shed and what they did with the Winter Glow. It was awesome being a part of it. I'm looking forward to the next one they do.
Yeah.
We'll be back. It wasn't even about, it was just to be out there, and show people what we have accomplished over the last 2 years. We had a lot of good people tell us how much our trace set and our smoke set looked really well. You have an idea?
I have a really good idea. Remind me to remind you of the idea.
Come on, really?
I can't even.
Text it to yourself while I'm talking.
You want me to tell you right now?
No. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah?
You tell the idea. Why not?
I think that there should be a Weedman pop-up.
I think so, too.
And you could have, like remember Lucy from Snoopy?
Mm-hmm.
She was the, psychiatry. Ask the doctor a question for 5 cents.
Yes.
Remember?
The psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist is in. Wasn't that Lucy?
Oh, yeah. That was Lucy and Charlie Brown's
so
the
you
only
could have an
customer-
Ask Weedman booth. For
Ask
5
Weedman.
cents. It's a $5 donation. Okay, we're doing this. It's a $5 donation to the Last Prisoner Project, and you get to come up and have a one question with Mr. Weedman. You have 3 minutes max.
What about you, Mrs. Weedman?
No, I just think this would be really cool. We're gonna do this.
Can
we should just plop you in a bar one night, like in the corner of a bar, and make you a fun.
I gotta wear the costume though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wear
Why
the
not?
superhero costume.
Oh
though, for
shoot,
that.
this is gonna be fun.
It all goes to the Last Prisoner Project.
Yeah,
that'd be great. So, as you know, part of our when we do our sales, you can round up, and it goes to the.
You
Last
can
Prisoner.
donate at the checkout.
Yeah, the checkout. So, we really like them, and that's what we do. So that'd be kind of fun. Good idea, Mrs. Weedman.
Hey, sometimes.
You ready to get the show started?
Yeah.
Me too. I posted this the other day, but I have to talk about it too because I'm so pleased to see cannabis just winning and winning and winning when it comes to the medical side of things. We all love cannabis for the recreational part of it, and a lot of people love it for the medical side of it, and it gets more and more. You see a lot of propaganda right now in the media who are against cannabis, falsifying what cannabis can really do. And I this story and a lot of other stories we've been reading lately, and one Mrs. Weedman has coming up too, and the one we did on ADHD last week, and more of these medical ailments that cannabis is healing or fixing or making people better is coming up now, and you can't hide it anymore. And I love it. So this one was so made me so happy and so proud to read this and to learn about it and to share it. So paralyzed dad with MS replaces 75 pills a day with cannabis and gets back on his feet.
Crazy.
And I just met a guy too, a dispensary manager a couple weeks ago, and he was up to 50 pills a day for his back and totally got off because of cannabis. Because of RSO.
Could you imagine?
Said this gentleman here taking 75 pills a day. 75.
And you have to think how many of them are to take care of a side effect of a different one.
That too.
So you take a medication that you need to take, and then you have to take something for the side effects it gives you, and then there could be multiple side effects. So there might be multiple medications, and then they might give you a side effect.
Well, you just talked about your medication, and there's side effects to that, and they try to get you to take a lot of pills. To
they just want me to,
those.
And we'll give you a diuretic. Oh, we'll give you a acid reflux. Oh, we'll give you what was the other one? An anti-nausea. What's the one an anti-nausea medication? Anyway, we'll just give you.
So what's the only thing you're taking for it? All
weed.
that?
Just weed.
Just weed, and the pill you have to take every day.
The pill.
Just cannabis.
Yep.
And it has. It's
helped keep the nausea away.
Sleep.
Sleep. It helps. It has always helped me sleep. But it's
inflammation.
Yeah, the inflammation. My hands are so stiff and puffy.
It's been tough, and cannabis has helped. So
my eyes are
because you told
told
your doctors no to all the side effect medicine.
Yeah.
When you told the doctors that you wanted cannabis, they prescribed you.
They did prescribe me dronabinol, which is an anti-nausea synthetic THC. I was like, well, why would I take a synthetic? But I was like, well, if the doctor is going to prescribe it, it's worth venturing and giving it a try.
You've only taken it a few times, and you have it just in case.
Right.
But
I just
go do a rip or pop a microdose edible or something.
Right.
So Mrs. Weedman can attest that cannabis has helped her.
Yes.
It's not healing the ailment that she has, but it's keeping away all the stuff, the side effects away. So chalk another one up for cannabis.
Yay.
And you can attest to it.
Cannabis.
Yay, cannabis.
Don't take 74 pills.
Yeah.
A day.
I know. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. Goes the popular but very true saying. Very true. Battling any kind of disease, even an acute one, is exhausting. But when it comes to chronic conditions, things are incomparable. Imagine having an unpredictable disease of the central nervous system, which disrupts the flow of information within the brain and between the brain and the body. In other words, multiple sclerosis, MS. According to the National MS Society, more than 2.3 million people around the world struggle with this disease, which eventually causes permanent damage or deterioration of the nerves. The cure, non-existent. Did you know that cannabis plant can provide amazing benefits to people suffering from this horrible disease? Yes, cannabis, weed, ganja, pot, marijuana, cannabis sativa, an under-researched plant with so many compounds. An amazing example of plants' healing power comes from a true story from about a dad from Kinross, Scotland, who got his life back on track thanks to cannabis. Mrs. Weedman, what have I always said about what's in those leaves?
Angels. Little baby angels.
Little baby angels. It was a gift.
It's like pixie dust.
It was a gift. This plant was a gift. And there's angels in it for a reason. It's a healing plant. It's a healthy plant. It's a plant that brings people back to life. You have MS. Tony Patterson, 33 years old, was admitted to the hospital for an eye quint operation. After undergoing an MRI scan in January of 2011, he was diagnosed with MS. Like so many life scenarios, the horrible diagnosis came the day after he was hired for his dream job as a chef in Glen Eagle Hotel. After being diagnosed, my whole life was turned upside down, Patterson said. I didn't understand the condition. All I knew is that my body was changing. There was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't see properly. My body was weak, and I was completely disorientated. To make things worse, his condition was rapidly progressing, forcing Patterson to use a cane to walk, then a wheelchair. He went back to his parents' home, where he could then take care of him, and writes the Nottingham Post. I couldn't work, and I was on many tablets and struggled with brain fog, confusion, memory issues, mobility issues, my bowels and bladder, he said. Pills to counteract the symptoms of other pills. The treatment, 75 tablets a day was the fucking treatment.
Crazy.
That's your treatment.
Because there is no treatment. We have a neighbor who we've been friendly with for 23 years.
Yep.
And she had children in school with our kids, and she's had MS since our kids were probably in preschool.
Yep.
And so we've watched her disease, her condition progress over the years. But man, this girl, Every day, she does not. She just always goes.
Yeah.
She goes and she walks her kids to school, and then she walks down the block and picks her kids up. And every day,
She still drives?
every day, driving, getting the kids where they need to go. They've got a large family, and she's just hustling. She's making
Strong.
birthday dinners for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that she's mentioned before cannabis. I don't know if she uses it therapeutically or not, but I just know how hard that disease is on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 75 tablets a day, at one point, he was taking over 25 tablets a day, 3 or 4 times a day. I felt endless. I had pills to counteract symptoms of other pills, Patterson explained. He tried a plethora of therapies, medications, always no success. As years passed by, Patterson began to experience mental health problems like anxiety, depression, and even bipolar issues. When his daughter, Savannah, was born in 2014, he regained power and again began a search for other solutions. He came upon an NHS research project examining the effect of medical cannabis, so he enrolled in the trial. Patterson ditched his other medications and all 75 pills in favor of cannabis. After only 10 months, he was back on his feet. Now is a regular cyclist, out of the wheelchair. Praise those angels in the leaves. Praise the angels in those leaves.
Aren't there like Church of Weed?
There should be, and I should
I think
start
there
one.
is
I
like
think
the
there is
Church of
one.
Cannabis
There is one somewhere.
The Church
I should
of
go there
Weed.
and do a talk. That'd be fun.
Praise the weed.
Angels in those leaves. T, your weed is fucking strong. I like it. It's really nice, man. This is a really
I'm
good
pretty
strain.
high, but
I'm high.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I'm
nice.
I'm
I'm
liking
bubbly
it.
and got a big smile on my face right now. So where did I leave off? Oh, Patterson now consumes around 3 grams of here, hold on. For me, it changed everything. The day I started using medical cannabis, Patterson said it was completely turned my life around. I never would have been able to get my life back without it. He uses around 3 grams, less than an eighth, of medical cannabis every day, spending about $365 in US dollars, 300 pounds a month from MMJ clinics. He was probably spending 75 pills a day.
God, there had to be so much copay.
I bet you, not even, I don't
And
know
just
how,
to feel
well,
like
I don't know
shit.
how, I
Just
don't know
feeling
how,
like
yeah,
shit
but I don't know
every
how
day.
their medical works overseas for that.
Right.
But just think how much it really costs here. If you were taking 75 pills a day on a prescription and you had to pay a copay, I bet you the whole thing a day, let's just say a year, probably you're talking about $250,000, $300,000 a year, maybe more. I know how much the pill that you're taking cost a month.
Yeah, if you didn't have insurance.
If you didn't have insurance.
Well, the company helped.
Whatever.
But whatever, it's still insane.
Right. So, $365 he's spending a month on a plant medicine.
That's awesome.
Fucking amazing. My life has improved drastically, Patterson said. I've dealt with bipolar and PTSD, and it helps me get on with my day. Mrs. Weedman's going to talk about bipolar here in a minute. It doesn't take all the pain away, but it's been the best painkiller and has given me my life back. Second chance. Think about medical cannabis. Thankfully, Patterson was diagnosed with remitting MS, which means that the condition can even worsen and then improve. He now lives on his own and takes care of his daughter as a single dad. I can move and I can walk, and it's given me the ability to be a better dad.
Wow.
I was devastated to lose out on my dream job at 21 because of my MS diagnosis, he said. Now I feel like I've been given a second chance. For those people who are in pain, have tried other routes to no avail, think of medical cannabis. It has changed my life.
Yay. That's very cool.
When I posted that last week, I knew I was going to talk about it on the show. I had to talk about it. It just, that's the first topic of the show. That's how powerful that article and what that gentleman's story is, says it all. That we here in the United States, with these fucked up laws and these fucked up laws and these fucked up laws, that we can't even get doctors to prescribe legit medical cannabis it took forever for us to get here too, but we still in some states still can't get it medically to people. And the research, even though it just got signed, think about how long it's going to take for people
to get set up and get
people, not even just set up, for people to apply so they can get government funding now to do the research on.
Yeah.
Just because you signed it doesn't mean you're doing it immediately.
They've got to get on the budget. They've got to get grants. They have to set up facilities.
Bullshit. I've been waiting for this article. To talk about this story because it's such a powerful story and more people it needs to be heard. This gentleman should be on every podcast and every news around the globe right now, attesting to his story, not just on a news article. He needs to be on the top shows in the world. He needs to go around to the Church of Cannabis and tell his fucking story because that is powerful for this plant that has been fucking hidden and fucking brutalized and beaten by governments and czars and fucking dictators and fucking kings and queens and fuck you. Because that there, ladies and gentlemen, and fucking people and human beings and earthlings is the reason why this plant is put on this earth. Mrs. Weedman, tell me why fucking industry sales are slowed down after the pandemic surge.
Hang on a minute. I gotta clear some headspace right now. That was quite a moment there.
Am I wrong?
No, I think that was, you're right. You're spot on. It was just very intense to be in the room with you while you were saying all of that.
I dropped the bird's cage on Saturday, remember?
Yeah, you did. Those poor birds.
They weren't in the cage.
Oh, that's right.
Remember
but they were so worried.
Remember I was cleaning their cage.
I'm high.
I was cleaning their cage. Yeah. And I moved it out to get the vacuum underneath somewhere, and it fucking fell off the shelf, the table that we have it on. And I'm trying to hold the cage and hold the vacuum cleaner.
Oh my God.
And everything was spilling on the floor. And I'm like, "Can you help me over here?"
I
and
was trying. I couldn't get there fast.
You looked at me, and I'm like, "I need some fucking help." And then you came over, and I fucking
we were day smoking.
Yeah, we were fucking smoking
because we were around the house all day.
Yeah, we were working on shit for the show, for the vendor show.
I just couldn't get
all of a sudden, I screamed, "Fuck!" I screamed, "Fuck!"
Loud, right?
And I made you and Yuki jump.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, whoa.
I was pissed. I was hot.
Whoa, Mr. Weedman. What made you think of that?
I forgot.
What did that have to do with?
I don't know.
Just change the subject.
Oh, we were talking about intensity.
We were?
Because I was so intense about the article.
Oh, intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
All
right. The cannabis industry sales are slowing down after the pandemic surge. After enjoying a sales surge during the pandemic, the U.S. cannabis industry is showing signs of a slowdown as it faces economic and regulatory challenges and people choose to spend their money elsewhere. In states with established cannabis markets, such as Oregon and Washington,
Did I
say it the wrong way?
Where to go?
I knew I was going to do that.
You want to yell, "Fuck"?
Fuck. Sales at retail outlets and dispensaries have declined from a year ago, according to a report from cannabis data firm Headset. In Colorado, one of the country's most established markets, sales in June were down 11.4% from a year ago. What we saw in 2020 was a massive spike in sales tied to the pandemic as people stayed home, had government stimulus money, and not a lot to do, said Chris Wash, CEO of Marijuana Business Daily. Between March 2020 and March 2021, average monthly year-over-year sales were up 25.8% in Colorado, according to Headset. But as the pandemic began easing last summer, the report found both the frequency of cannabis purchases and the amount of money people spent began declining. In July, for example, people spent an average of $55.21 per visit at the median Colorado store. That was about $4 less than the average of July of 2021, according to Headset research. Retailers are discounting in a time of high inflation because they're trying to move product from the shelves, said Wash, adding that businesses are also facing intense competition from a thriving illegal market that isn't taxed. We're operating in an incredibly challenging and competitive landscape, with our biggest competitor being the illicit market, said Troy Datcher, CEO of the
traditional market.
Yeah. The parent company, which is a cannabis company in California. Overall, sales across the industry are still rising and are still projected to do so as new large markets open up, including New York, Maryland, and Missouri. According to an analysis by Marijuana Business Daily, combined U.S. medical and recreational cannabis sales could reach $33 billion by year's end, up from $27 billion last year. So sales are still up higher, even though they're saying the sales declined, but they really, they grew. Well, whatever. It's a little contradiction within the article, no?
A little bit.
Sales are projected to reach $52.6 billion by 2026. The long-term horizon is extremely bright, Wash said. This is just what industries go through. For now, however, investment money is drying up as the market gets crowded. According to Viridian Capital Advisors, a New York-based cannabis advisory firm, total U.S. cannabis capital raised year to date is down 62.6% from a year ago, and equity financing is down 96.3%. Part of the problem, experts said, is that investors are tired of waiting for federal regulation. The lack of federal regulation means cannabis businesses in states where recreational sales are legal still can't access traditional banking services or institutional capital. A congressional bill called the Secure and Fair Enforcement Banking Act, or SAFE, would lift such restrictions, but hasn't made it through the Senate, despite passing in the House several times. A lot of investors had jumped in under the assumption that there would be some movement at the federal level to either reschedule the drug or pass a sort of banking legislation, said Matt Hawkins, founder of Entourage Effect Capital, a cannabis investment firm. Hawkins said he and other investors have become more selective in the types of businesses that they finance, prioritizing those that are already having significant market share. That could end up hurting smaller players hoping to get their footing, he said. The industry remains in an internal consolidation state, with the new licensees finding it difficult to find capital and scale with efficiency, said Robert Beasley, CEO of Fluent, which operates medical dispensaries in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Texas. Despite the economic headwinds, however, Beasley said he's hopeful that we will get a few small measures of regulatory relief, and that'll get the industry back on track. So, and that's the end of the article. I didn't realize that.
How stoned are you right now?
I'm so stoned.
T, you got me stoned.
Yeah, so wasn't the title of that the cannabis industry sales are down?
It is a slowdown. They slowed.
But their overall sales are up.
Right, but the surge was so huge during the pandemic because everybody had free money and everyone was sitting at home doing nothing, so they started exploring cannabis. And a
lot of people weren't at home doing nothing.
No.
But people had more free time.
Right.
Because we couldn't do a lot.
A lot of people were working from home. But you had those 2 weeks where you were fucking stuck at home, and a lot of people weren't working.
Yeah. Right.
So, to play off of that, cannabis sales update. October was weak overall. I don't have November's numbers yet, but not in Florida. Florida's just out of fucking control for just medical too. In September, year-over-year growth ranged from minus 16.2% in Maryland to plus 34.3% in Florida. Also in September, year-over-year growth ranged from minus 23% in Nevada to minus 5% in California compared to a year ago. Cannabis sales decreased by 0.5% in October compared to September, while at a per-day basis. This is going to help answer your question. Sales decreased 3.7% month over month, according to new cannabis venture Alan Borkstein, citing BDSA data, which I've used data from them before. They're a cannabis data site. You can buy a membership and look at all the fucking data of what all these cannabis companies are doing that are involved in it on the states that BDSA ranks. In total, sales across the 11 markets totaled $1.64 billion during the month of October. What do you got to be pissed off about that?
Yeah, right.
You did 1.6 billion. This is your fucking problem, cannabis industry. You look at fucking percentage growth and percentage down. In the traditional market, all we did was trade forward and want to make our fucking money. But because you have investors and you fucking don't own your companies, because you fucking decided to go to the stock market and get on the trade, you don't own your company. So all you play to is the fucking stock shareholders. I got to please the shareholders. My market's down. My fucking stores are down. You don't care about the plan. All you care about is the numbers. and how much your percentage growth month over month is, because you got shareholders you got to take care of now, or investors that you got to take care of. Anyway, I digress. Eastern markets. Note, the Florida, Maryland, and Pennsylvania are medically only markets. Moreover, in September, year-over-year growth ranged from minus 16.2% in Maryland to 34% in Florida, the analyst wrote. Florida sales grew at a more rapid rate at October than in September, increasing 24.9% to 34.3%. Jeez. The highest annual growth yet, and a record of 201.6 million, according to the report, and they're only fucking medical. That's as much as Michigan did at a record, and they're medical and rec. Also, flower sales grew 28%. Pre-rolls increased 28%. Ingestibles gained 38%, and concentrate expanded 43% year over year. That means one of two things: more people are getting their med cards. Because when the last time I read about how many people, I think it was like 400,000 people were med card holders in Florida. For doing that, those kind of numbers, you have to be getting close to fucking 600,000-700,000. I'll have to look it up, but I don't really know the whole data. So, moreover, in Illinois, where according to recent data released by the state, sales grew 0.7% from September and increased 6.6% from October in 2021. BDSA estimated sales of 160 million, up 0.8% sequentially and 31% from a year ago. Okay. For the state of Illinois to do $160 million with only 110 truly active dispensaries going right now, that's fucking huge. And you also are getting a lot of people from Iowa, Wisconsin, fucking Indiana, Kentucky, and you're going to lose Missouri because they're going to stay in their own state now because now it's going rec. So you're losing Missouri. And then you're probably getting some people crossing over maybe from Minnesota, coming down in some other states. And you get a lot of tourism in the summer. You are fucking killing it for only having 105. So don't cry when you don't hit the 200 million mark. But with these other 191 dispensaries opening up here shortly, things are going to fucking change. The money's going to be spread out. So, and if fucking Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky get their fucking asses together and fucking at least get medical, you're done. You're going to go down to about 100 million a year because you don't have the population growth anymore. So, let's see. Got a lot to say. Maryland sales fell again, increasing 0.1% from August to 38.4, but they're only medical right now. They're going fucking rec, or they already are rec. Massachusetts sales dipped. No, they're not rec yet. They just voted to be rec. Sorry. Sales dipped 0.5% and decreased 0.7% compared to a year ago to 148 million. Boo-hoo. In October compared to September, state cannabis sales fell 1.2%, increased 28.1% from a year ago to 209.4 million, down 1.2%. Up 27.3% from a year ago. What are you crying about? Sales declined 0.6% in Pennsylvania in October to 92.1. Don't forget they're only medical. Down 10.3% compared to a year ago. They're only med. In Western markets, in September, year-over-year growth ranged from 23.7% in Nevada to 5.5% in California compared to a year ago. Arizona combined sales of 107 million, decreased 2.1% from September, down to 5.7% compared to October in 2021. New Mexico opened up Arizona. It's wrecked there. Of course you were going to lose that, and you ain't getting people crossing all the way to fucking Arizona from Texas through New Mexico to come all the way to your state anymore. They don't need to. They go right to New Mexico. It's closer. So of course you're down. Okay? It's all your outside fucking people that were coming into your states that couldn't get places, and you're all panicking because other states are opening up. So all the corporate guys are like, oh, cannabis industry's down. No. You're going into different states. People aren't crossing over anymore. As soon as all 50 states are open, everything's going to balance out sales-wise. Unless you cross over states where California can start delivering across the fucking country, then you're all in trouble. So, medical sales of 3.9 million were up 2% and down 30% from a year ago, the report says. But adult use sales were 68 million, gained 2% from September. So, let's see. The Arizona Department of Revenue revelated Arizona state sales brought in 22.3 million in taxes. What are you crying about? Eclipse the year before at 196.4 million. Moreover, the Golden State, California sales fell 2.8% and down to 399 million and decrease. They're at 399 million and decreased 5.5% compared to a year ago. Flower sales were down 15%, while pre-rolls grew 9%. Ingestibles gained 4%, and concentrates fell 3% year over year. Colorado declined 2.7% in October compared to September, dropping 19%. Do you realize that your state isn't the only state around you anymore? People were driving miles to come to your state to grab poundage to bring fucking back to their states. I saw people's cars filled with boxes of everything. Of course you're down. All the states, surrounding states around you are fucking opening up. You're going to lose business that way. Okay? And people are starting to leave Colorado now because they can go to other states and get the same medicine. Now they don't have to stay in your state because you jacked up your fucking housing prices and all your taxes and everything out there. So I wouldn't stay there when I have to pay that much to live. Anyway, Oregon, finally, September fell 2% from September to 79.4 million, down 21.2% from a year ago. That's because of changing laws too there in that state. So that hopefully answers your question. A lot of number thrown out there.
Right.
But it just to play off of that article, people need to know what those states are doing and stop crying about profits. You don't care about the plant. Sorry, you only care about profits and taking care of your fucking shareholders. Anyway, the Angels made me talk like that, just so you know. The Angels and those leaves.
They get you every once in a while.
Every once in a while. We talked about ADHD on the last episode with Cannabis, right?
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about bipolar disorder and
Yes.
the new research they found.
Yeah. Cannabis has unique benefits for people with bipolar disorder, finds new research. Around 46 million people around the world struggle with symptoms of bipolar disorder. Also known as manic depression, bipolar disorder can disrupt daily life, affecting relationships and your ability to work. There are 3 kinds of bipolar disorder. Bipolar 1, with symptoms including manic episodes that can last at least a week and may require admission to the hospital. Bipolar 2 is characterized by patterns of manic and depressive episodes, particularly elevated moods that make patients more agitated and energetic. And cyclothymic disorder, with symptoms including a rapid cycling of high and low mood swings, going from excessively energetic and happy to depressive in a switch. Psychotherapy and medications are recommended for the treatment of bipolar disorder. Pharmaceutical medications are conventionally seen as necessary to help regulate moods. However, many patients don't find relief from symptoms from their pharmaceutical medications, especially due to the effects taking time and the meds usually coming with side effects. Cannabis is a safer, more natural alternative that can help patients with bipolar disorder. A brand new study that sought to understand how cannabis affects cognitive and goal-directed behaviors among people with bipolar disorder reveals that cannabis may have uniquely beneficial effects for the condition. Researchers who presented the findings at the Neuroscience 2022 conference specifically found that cannabis was effective in improving cognitive function while helping reduce risky decision-making, which is common among individuals with bipolar disorder. The researchers also suggest that cannabis reduces dopaminergic activity in the brain to help suppress its symptoms. Chronic cannabis use may have uniquely beneficial effects in people with bipolar disorder. Chronic cannabis use has been shown to reduce dopamine release. Thus, chronic cannabis use may result in the return to dopamine homeostasis in people with bipolar disorder, and consequently normalizing their deficits in goal-directed behaviors. We are engaged in additional studies that explore this potential, wrote the authors. There have been similar findings in other older studies. According to a 2018 clinical trial, researchers found that cannabis consumption is linked to improvement in clinical symptoms of bipolar disorder. It also doesn't negatively impact cognitive performance, they shared. Researchers from Harvard Medical School, McLean Hospital, and Tufts University analyzed the impact of cannabis on cognitive function and moods among patients who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. This marked the first clinical trial to ever be conducted with the goal of analyzing how cannabis affects neuropsychological performance and mood. They found that cannabis use resulted in reduced scores of depression, anger, and tension. It was also associated with increased vigor. However, Patients who consumed cannabis also showed no significant change in cognitive performance compared to subjects who abstained. The current study highlights preliminary evidence that patients with bipolar disorder who regularly smoke cannabis reported at least a short-term clinical symptom alleviation following use, indicating potential mood-stabilizing properties of cannabis in at least a subset of patients with bipolar disorder, they concluded. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
A significant portion of the population do not even know they have bipolar disorder. They do, however, experience mild symptoms of mood swings and other symptoms of dysregulated moods. For them, cannabis can also help. A 2020 review from researchers at the University of New Mexico involving the analysis of real-life information taken from the Relief app found that cannabis was effective in treating the symptoms of depression. One of the more interesting findings from the study is that cannabis flower with relatively high levels of tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, is particularly associated with immediate reductions in the intensity of depressive feelings, explains researcher Jacob Miguel Vigil. With no end to the depression epidemic in sight, and given the limitations and potential severe negative side effects of conventional antidepressant medications, there's a real need for people to be able to treat mood disturbances with natural, safe, and effective medications, and the cannabis plant checks off all 3 boxes, he added. Boosting the endocannabinoid system with the use of cannabinoid-based products has been shown to positively impact the neuroendocrine, neurotransmission, and neuroimmune systems. These systems are greatly affected by those who suffer from depression and other mood disorders. In a 2006 study out of Montreal, researchers found that increasing the amount of endocannabinoids produced by the brain is effective in improving one's mood. Investigators from the McGill University Health Center revealed that using the synthetic URB579 agent resulted in potent antidepressant-like effects in animal models because it was successful in preventing cannabinoids from degrading. It was the first study to ever prove that something external can help boost cannabinoids and overall mood. According to lead researcher Gabriella Gobi, this is the first time it has been shown that a drug that increases cannabinoids in the brain can improve your mood, she said. Additionally, a 2020 report from the BMC Psychiatry found that whole plant cannabis and plant-based cannabinoids are effective in improving moods and sleep while reducing anxiety and psychotic disorders. While the body of research on cannabis for bipolar disorder is fairly young, the studies and anecdotal evidence is promising. If you or a loved one struggles with bipolar disorder and want to use cannabis or CBD products, just be sure to do so with the guidance of your physician. And on that note, you may also have to find a different physician that will agree to let you go that route.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Or, that would work with you and be agreeable.
Yep. Yeah. My doctor, my main doctor, doesn't prescribe it at all. Won't even talk about it.
He won't talk about what?
I argued with him, and one time he goes, "What are you doing for your back?" I said, "Keep my core strength upgrade, and I use cannabis daily for my back." And he's like, "I could tell you a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't do cannabis." I said, "Well, I could tell you a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't be my doctor." Mm-hmm. And I like him,
right?
Because he likes prosciutto and gabagool.
Gabagool.
We talk about Italian meats every time I'm in there.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, not the kind
I
of
go
meat.
to
Where's
my-
your dirty mind at, Miss Fucking Weedman? I'm talking about Italian. I'm talking about
Italian meats.
Italian deli
Yeah,
cuts and
I'm sure you do.
prosciutto and gabagool and capicola and
Blah blah
and a little of this and a little of that.
Oh, come on!
You started
Get
it.
out of here!
You don't like the gabagool?
Hey, what are you crazy?
You want to know what?
What?
You want to know how much cannabis was sold in Rhode Island the first week? The little old Rhode Island.
I want to know.
$1.63 million.
Nice. Everybody was high.
Everybody. That whole state was one big cloud.
Everybody was high.
Texas activists collect signatures to overturn city lawmakers' repeal of voter-approved cannabis decriminalization ballot initiative. That's a long one. Come on, Texas. Just legalize it, man. We like Tennessee. I love going to Tennessee. I love the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and it's just a great state to visit. It's beautiful. But THC is everywhere. Tennessee's Medical Cannabis Commission urges lawmakers to act. There's a lot of the the hemp law down there, so there's a lot of Delta 8 derived products, and you know how they do in Florida too. So they're just saying, fucking look at this. It's fucking. There's a bunch of people walking around like holding signs saying free joints of Delta 8 and hemp.
It's weird.
Yeah. Connecticut governor to expunge thousands of cannabis convictions. He's doing what Biden had called out to all the governors across the country, and this Connecticut governor is doing that to thousands. That's great. And then also in Connecticut is ready to launch cannabis sales, adult use, on January 10th, and long lines are to be expected. We had long lines in Illinois when we launched rec on January 1st of 2020. It was 5-hour waits.
Yeah.
People wanted to be the first one getting cannabis. Just could have came to my house and smoked. I would have gave you something.
No, it was all about like going to the store and
Yeah. What the
people wanted to experience that.
So there was an article that came out about cannabis smoke being worse and more damaging than tobacco. Well, this article, Mrs. Weedman is going to read, talks about the flaws in that viral study, and then the study should be retracted, honestly, says this article.
Yeah.
Pretty good article.
Yeah.
It calls out that other article that I
Yes.
read, and I didn't want to talk about it.
This guy was mad.
Oh, I fucking damn right he should be. It's fucking amazing. He called him out. Told him Vegas to go,
Yeah.
you know? So tell us about this this
Yes.
bullshit.
So, does cannabis smoke really cause more lung damage than tobacco smoke? Flaws in a viral study. Earlier this month, researchers published a study in the journal Radiology that was prime fodder for misleading headlines. The study sought to investigate the effects of cannabis smoke on the lungs. The researchers say they found more lung damage in the cannabis smokers group than in the tobacco smokers group. That led to a rash of headlines like this one from the Chicago Sun-Times. Smoking marijuana might be more harmful to your lungs than tobacco, study suggests. But here's the catch. That's not actually what the study found. The researchers, radiologists at the University of Ottawa, note that with the legalization of recreational cannabis use in Canada and the United States, there's a need to better understand the effects of cannabis smoke on the lungs. For the study, they analyzed the CT chest scans of 3 groups: cannabis smokers, tobacco-only smokers, and non-smokers, with the latter group serving as a control. Of the 56 participants in the cannabis smokers group, 50 of 56 also had a history of smoking tobacco. Among the cannabis and tobacco smokers, the mean number of pack years among the cannabis smokers was 25. Pack years are a way of calculating the amount smoked and the number of years a person smoked. For example, if you smoked 2 packs a day for 1 year, you would have smoked 2 pack years. If you smoked half a pack a day for 8 years, you would have smoked for 4 pack years. The mean number of the pack years among the tobacco-only group was 40. The study authors concluded that the cannabis and tobacco group had more damage in the lungs than tobacco alone did. This isn't a terribly surprising conclusion. Inhaling smoke, be it wildfire, cannabis, or cigarette smoke, will damage your lungs. Certainly, some kinds of smoke can be more damaging than others, so it may well be that a history of inhaling 2 types of smoke might damage a person's lungs more than inhaling just one kind. But even that assessment is a reach, unsupported by the findings. Peter Grinspoon, didn't we interview Peter Grinspoon? He was your first guest on the show.
No,
From
that
Canada.
was David Silverstein.
Okay. So Peter Grinspoon, a professor of
I can
medicine.
see how you get confused on that.
Peter Grinspoon. I don't know. It just seemed like such a familiar name. They're not very similar. Thanks, Paul.
Mr.
right.
Weedman to you, Mrs. Weedman.
Yeah. Oh, boy, I said your real name. Who's that? I don't know.
You can all go on our website and find out my real name.
It's not that big of a deal. All right. Peter Grinspoon, a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and author of the forthcoming book, Seeing Through the Smoke, a cannabis specialist untangles the truth about marijuana. The only way they found participants for the marijuana group was screening medical charts for marijuana and cannabis, said Grinspoon. They didn't even talk to cannabis users. They didn't quantify how much cannabis the participants were using or whether it was legally sourced cannabis, which could have contaminants, or legally sourced cannabis that might be better, Grinspoon says. The study was also incredibly small, making any conclusions hard to quantify. More importantly, there was no group composed of marijuana-only smokers. Duh. I mean, isn't that like baseline? I think I would even know you'd need that. Well, when researchers refer to the tobacco group, they specify tobacco only, but the marijuana plus tobacco group is simply called the marijuana group. Granted, 6 of the 56 people in the marijuana group didn't have a history of smoking tobacco, but that's further confounding. Why combine marijuana only and marijuana plus tobacco people in the same group? The corresponding author on the study didn't respond to Inverse's request for comment. Grinspoon says, it is possible that there could be a synergistic effect between cannabis smoke and tobacco smoke, but to study that, you need a tobacco-only group, a cannabis-only group, and a both cannabis and tobacco group. What they have, Grinspoon says, is this bizarre retrospective study where they just randomly search the charts for the word marijuana or cannabis. The study's poor design begs the question, what do we know about the effect of marijuana smoke, and only marijuana smoke, on the lungs? And how does that compare to the effects of tobacco-only smoke? A 2013 literature review published in the Annals of American Thoracic Society concluded that cannabis smoke causes visible and microscopic injury to the large airways that is consistently associated with an increased likelihood of symptoms of chronic bronchitis that subside after cessation of use. Cannabis smoke alone didn't appear to increase a person's risk of developing emphysema.
Say that one more time.
Cannabis smoke alone didn't appear to increase a person's risk of developing emphysema.
The plot thickens.
The review author, Donald Tashkin, notes that even habitual use of marijuana doesn't appear to lead to significant abnormalities in lung function, except for possible increases in lung volume and modest increases in airway resistance of unclear clinical significance. Like cigarette smoke, cannabis smoke does contain carcinogens. When cigarette smoke was removed from the equation, as the study concluded, the association of cancers with marijuana, even long-term or heavy use, is not strong and may be below practically detectable limits. Unless the stated goal of a study is to analyze the effects of cannabis smoke on the lungs of a tobacco smoker, including tobacco smokers in the marijuana group, doesn't make sense. And calling the study group the marijuana group, when contrasted with the tobacco-only group, is misleading. Grinspoon finds this outrageous. I can't read. The study should be retracted, honestly, he says. Inhaling any type of smoke can harm your lungs. That's uncontested. And the damage different types of smoke cause somewhat depends on factors unrelated to specific types of smoke, like the amount and the duration of exposure. All of these factors are worth further study. But when assessing the damage caused by cannabis smoke compared to tobacco smoke, all the best available evidence suggests that tobacco smoke is much more harmful to your lungs than marijuana smoke.
There you go.
Whew.
There you go.
Yeah. Interesting.
Bogus research. Just trying to make those angels look like devils.
Forever.
International news. There's an author, photographer, Lucas Straziri. He released a book of Afghanistan, Fortress of Cannabis. We do know some of the best hashish comes from Afghanistan, and the landrace strains.
See, you can't speak either.
I smoked 2 more times.
Well, yeah. So pass me that bowl, would you?
Oh,
I gotta catch up.
So he Afghanistan, Fortress of Cannabis. He took pictures of all beautiful landrace strains and just all of the culture of cannabis in Afghanistan. And you can buy the book. It's 130 photographs and 10,000 words. Non-specialists will be able to understand key historical facts about cannabis and hashish. It also gives connoisseurs some lexical precision on common words currently used in popular cannabis culture and exclusive insight into Afghan cannabis tradition. I definitely want to get this book. I want to feature it right on my fucking bookshelf. Who is Lucas Straziri? Is a traveler, photographer, and teacher interested in traditional cannabis. During his travels in India, Pakistan, Lebanon, and Morocco, he was able to gather numerous testimonies mentioning Afghanistan as the origin of the best plants and sieved hashish. So he started this in 2018. He traveled for 2 months in northern Afghanistan, was able to photograph the vibrant cannabis culture of the region. His articles have been published by Vice, Cannabis Now, Soft Secrets, Grow Magazine. His photographs appear in Cannabis Grow Handbook by Ed Rosenthal. Super stoked for Mrs. Weedman to get me this book. So write this down, Mrs. Weedman. You ready?
Duh. I don't have a pen.
I'm just You fucking panicked.
I thought it was like I was gonna have to take a test. Felt like I was in high school again. I was like, oh shit. I'm not prepared.
I cannot wait. I wish we had video going for everyone to see your face of panic right now. It was pretty fucking funny.
I'm not prepared for a test.
Oh shit. That's fucking great. Other international news: cannabis reform ramps up in Europe and South America.
T the tech.
Good weed, T.
Good weed.
Good laughing, giggly. Mm-hmm. You know, international reform is gaining steam. Global cannabis reform continues to gain momentum via various regulatory frameworks and proposals. The majority of the world appears to be moving towards some form of cannabis regulation with the eye towards liberalization. That's pretty dope. Depending on the nation, programs vary from permissive medical regulations to heavily regulated GMP. The one thing about the international, their importing and exporting is fucking amazing. Something the United States is fucking so stupid. They could be California could be saved right now by exporting some of the greatest cannabis to the world, and we can't do it. Can't go in. It can't cross fucking federal. So fucking stupid.
Crazy.
Just dumb. I mean, all those beautiful growers and, you know, the Green Triangle and all the Northern California and all around California, just some of the finest weather and to grow. Seattle too. I mean, Washington too. Not Seattle, sorry, but Washington too. And Oregon, that whole West Coast. My gosh, so much good weed can come there. All outdoor grown. Unfortunate. But, you know, they're doing it right over in Europe. And other European countries, including the Netherlands and Portugal, have passed cannabis or drug reform laws in previous years. Did not fully legalize the plant, but got some stuff done. So more and more countries in Europe and South America just gonna keep on going, and we're gonna get stuck behind. And this, I mean, this can save the United States. I mean, jobs and the economy, and start exporting phenomenal cannabis. It's the 6th largest crop in the United States. Are you fucking kidding me right now? What are we doing? What are we thinking? Joe, let's go. Do something. Slow
like,
mo,
why can't
Joe.
they take all of the like excess inventory from each state and instead of just wasting it, send it overseas because it's not
federally legal.
It's not federal.
Can't go in international waters and fucking you'd be fucking thrown in jail forever.
No, I'm not saying like each business owner do that. Like the government does it.
Fuck that. Why? Why give
it away to other people? I don't know. I think I'm really high, Paul.
Stop.
I said your name again.
Stop.
I'm just a mess.
Stop. Just terrible, terrible way of thinking that. Give it to the fucking federal. Blech.
No, I got confused.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you ready to read? You ready to read your next article?
I'm sorry.
Here? Can you go?
Yes.
Can you do this?
No, I'm going to take back.
You're ending the show, Mrs. Weedman.
I'm going to retract my statement. I'm retracting that statement.
Yes, thank you.
All of our excess should stay here
and
go to our medical patients.
True,
and we've
100%.
talked about that a number of times on the show.
100%.
I just got really confused.
I got you.
I don't know what I was talking
T.
about.
You fucked Mrs. Weedman up.
Weed just messed up my brain. It's all right. I'll be back.
Made me feel great.
Well, all I'm talking about right now is silly stuff. Anyway.
No, this is the ending of the show. This is the greatest part. It's the holidays. Happy holidays. Let the carousels keep ringing.
Wow.
And the holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. So what are the 10 best holiday activities to do when you're fucking baked?
I don't think they really gave 10. I think they gave 8.
Whatever.
It was a weird article.
We can think of 2.
Well, holiday activities that are 10 times better when you're high. Happy holidays, stoners. It's the perfect time of year to indulge in winter fun. Grab your best buds, smoke up, and partake in these holiday fun activities. Go ice skating.
I'm going to give you yay or nay.
Okay. Ice skating, high. Yay, nay.
For me, nay.
Nay.
And why?
I feel like I'd have like mush ankles.
Depending on how high you were. If I just took like a 2.5 milligram microdose and did
Yeah.
it all day, or a 5 milligram gummy, maybe hit my pen, sure. But if I was baked like I am right now, I would fucking wreck or wreck into somebody. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
feel
able
like
to stop.
it wouldn't be good.
So depending on how high. So let's
Yeah.
just say I'll give it a mid. I'll give it like middle. The hands in the middle, not up or down. Hands in the middle.
One up, one down.
Okay, one up, one down. There you go. All right, next.
All right. How about Christmas tree shopping?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, all
Just
day.
don't bring it. No chainsaws.
But no. But the fun part about that, the terpenes coming from the pine trees,
yeah.
would light you the fuck up. Your high would be just
It would feel so good.
Oh, 100%. It'd be
Smell
amazing.
so good.
Yep.
And then when you cut the tree, that smell.
Gosh, you get that wood smell, the pine smell,
Yeah.
the sap. The only thing that would suck,
What?
if I got sap in my hands being high, it would drive me fucking bad.
Oh, because you'd be like, oh my God, they're sticky.
You can't get it out. You cannot get
fingers are
sap.
sticky.
No matter how, you have to
a-
take a fucking scrub brush and
Yeah.
like over and over again,
yeah.
like soap to get that fucking shit off.
You need some oil to
The
break it
worst.
down.
So everything else, great. Sap, meh.
Okay, moving on. Gift shopping. I think I
Online?
have to be high to go gift shopping.
Online,
hate shopping.
yeah, sure, all day. But going to a
To
crazy busy mall,
or a store.
fuck you. Unless you
me-
want to just sit and watch people watch and make fun of them, different
No, I don't
story.
even wanna
But
be
if you
there.
had to go in stores and shop and be crowded on holidays, no.
Whew, I just got anxious thinking about that. No,
Oh shit! Next,
this one's good. Make gingerbread houses.
100%, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs
Absolutely, we would probably wind up eating half of that ginger house before we even got
Make
started.
extras.
Yeah, have one to eat,
Yeah.
and have one to fucking make, build.
All right,
2 thumbs
tree
up.
decorating.
100%. You
I did
you
that.
were fucking.
I
and
did
you
that. It was
the-
amazing.
The best tree you've ever done
Nah,
in our.
oh, come on! I've done
No.
some pretty trees.
You've had some great trees.
yeah.
This is the best tree you've done
I hate when you do that.
in 28 years of us,
I-
except
I
for
can
our
never
first
live
tree.
up to
Except
my
for our
own
first,
self.
I still love our first tree.
Our first tree was so
It
cute.
was a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It was so cute,
Little homemade
so
ornaments.
perfect. It was yes, that one was my favorite of all time because it was our first Christmas
cute.
together. Yes, but this tree, you outdid yourself. It is perfection. So you need to
Well,
get stoned
okay.
every year.
Okay, I'm moving on. Sledding.
100%. I've done it. Stoned.
Sledding, yes.
100%.
Fun.
Fucking
Totally
best.
fun.
Hell, the only thing that sucks is when the snow fucking comes flying in your face and you
you're
can't
like,
see.
and you can't
Yes.
move fast enough
Yes.
to get it off
Yeah,
your
100%.
face.
But sledding is great.
Decorating your home? No, I don't think you should.
Why? We were high last week when we decorated the house. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I
It
just
was
keep
great.
moving stuff around from place to place.
I had a blast watching you do that.
And watching holiday movies.
Fucking,
yeah,
yeah, 100%.
Popcorn,
yes.
movies.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
100%.
yeah, totally.
Yes.
So there's
that's-
not 10.
That was only 8. What else? Eating during the holidays is fun.
Phew, yeah,
Not cooking, but really
Eating.
eating, enjoying it.
yeah, just being like, fuck it.
Like the desserts that you
Mm-hmm.
make at the what is the famous cookie you make every year?
I make Italian rainbow
Oh,
cookies.
fucking amazing.
There's a lot of requests for those this year.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna have to make a lot. Of them.
And now your new the new thing everybody wants too.
My peanut brittle.
Your peanut brittle.
Yeah,
Everybody wants you to bring that.
that's so easy.
Yeah, but everybody wants you to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen something go
like
like
people eat it like through dinner.
they were
If
eating it before dinner.
Yeah, before dinner, during dinner,
Out of control.
like slide the turkey on Thanksgiving out of the way and eat some more peanut butter.
I love your peanut brittle. I just can't eat too much of it because I feel like my crowns are gonna pull out.
Right.
So I don't eat much of it. But I've never seen a bunch of gavones in my whole fucking life reach in, hands jacking, fucking like just like I'm like, you guys are a bunch of fucking
They're
gavones.
crazy.
Oh my gosh,
It was
nuts.
like the third time I've made it, so it's been at now a few family parties, and
Out of control. They all wanted you to
like
make the
every
caramels
time.
forever.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah, it used
fuck
to be all about the
caramels,
caramels.
peanut brittle.
oh my god,
So-
my caramels I could never quite master. Like some years they'd be good, some years I'd panic and I'd take it off the burner too soon.
But
so
now
it'd
you
be-
got actually
it'd
now
be
you got
like
the new you got the
oozy.
new you have the new thermometer though now.
No, I know. But remember the one year I remember specifically, it was too loose to cut. You couldn't even. It was like caramel for like a sundae.
It was good on ice cream.
So I just left it in the cookie sheet. I was frustrated. Like put it into like a sheet to
Yeah, people
like
loved
a bar
it.
pan to
They were just
cool.
dipping a spoon.
Oh my god! Everyone was just going by with
Yeah.
a spoon and scooping
Yeah, it's
caramel.
great.
All the nieces and nephews
Loved
were
it.
Freaking crazy about that. They loved it.
So that's 9.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What's 10?
Oh, they didn't give me any more. I'm telling you.
But that was our.
Oh.
I said we were going to add 9 and 10. So that was 9 food. What would you think would
Yoga.
be 10? During the holiday season?
Oh, this is just.
How about playing board games with your family during the holiday season?
Yes, dominoes,
Train
Uno.
is great.
Yeah.
Uno, all the fun stuff.
Oh, what's the fun thing we play on the game?
Oh, Jackbox TV,
Jackbox
on
TV.
Switch. That is
Oh my
so
God.
much fun.
On
So
the
yes,
Nintendo.
game. So Mr. Weedman, of course, came through in the clutch
Yes.
and thought of 2 new ideas.
Nice.
Fucking
nice.
just call me the
Good
fucking
job,
clutch
Mr.
man.
Weedman. Mr. Clutch.
Hey, everybody out there in the world. Hopefully you fucking are enjoying life. Mrs. Weedman, you got anything else to say?
Go Bears. Are they still in this? Is their season over?
All right, we're going to end the show right now.
Go Bears.
You should have said the right way, though.
Go Bears.
Da Bears.
The Bears.
Hey, before we end the show, let's tell the story how fucked up you did.
What? What did I do?
You don't remember what you did to George Wendt with the
Oh,
T-shirt?
no, don't.
Oh,
'Cause I
you-
feel bad about that.
Why? Why do you feel bad about it? It's classic
I
now.
wasn't
It's
even
history. That's the best part about it. All right. You bought a Bears shirt, right? If
Yes.
anybody doesn't know, you watched Saturday Night Live. It was a big skit back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
or
90s
90s.
probably.
It was the Bears with Chris Farley, the guy that plays what was his name? He plays Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah.
That guy that played in Wayne's World, and George Wendt.
What is his name?
Did
Whatever.
the skit,
Yeah.
the Bears, when they were talking about the Bears playing it all the time. The greatest coach of all time, whatever. So, greatest running back of all time, Walter Payton, and they would do the Chicago D's, Dems, and Don'ts, eating chicken wings and beer, right?
Dana Carvey.
No, he
Dana
was on it
Carvey.
here and there. But Dana Carvey wasn't it, but it was the other guy.
Okay.
So,
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, thank you.
Okay.
So Chris Farley kind of ran that skit. It was part of Saturday Night Live when George Wendt or they bring somebody on from Chicago. They would do the skit, all of them, and so George Wendt was on it a couple times. So Mrs. Weeman bought a Chicago Bears T-shirt that had Chris Farley's face on the shoulder of it saying "Da Bears," and went and wanted to get George to sign it for a giveaway, for a raffle. And she went to him with this shirt and said, "Hey George, I have this bear shirt and it has your face on it. Can you sign this for the school giveaway? We can." And George looks at it and goes, "That's Chris Farley."
Okay.
That's Chris Farley.
He still loves me.
The most embarrassing. Well, you used to cut his hair, so
used to cut his
yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. I think that I just didn't even think
my
about the
God.
fact that Chris Farley was on that.
Because we
I just
knew
did-
him. We knew
I don't
George.
know, and I don't know why. I
Oh
mean,
my
I
God.
obviously know the difference between the two guys.
I'm dying right now.
Oh my God, I
Holy
couldn't. I was
fuck,
so
I'm
embarrassed.
Crying. I'm fucking crying right now. Literally in tears thinking about I
Still,
was there. I was
I'm
right
sorry.
standing right next
George.
to you. And I literally turned the first time in our whole entire marriage, I left you. I walked away because I was embarrassed
oh
for
my
it.
God.
I was like,
what did she just do?
"Oh, she done fucked up."
Okay. So If he happens to get wind of this conversation right now,
I don't care. I think it's
I'm
great.
sorry.
I'm sure somebody will send it to him. I'm sure somebody in our family listens to this and we'll send it to him. I think it's fucking amazing. I still laugh about it. I had it.
I'm still embarrassed.
So you got anything else to say, Mrs. Weedman?
I'm still embarrassed. Serious, like from my heart. I'm sorry. I didn't think that.
Oh my God!
Chris Farley was part of that.
I'm really gonna have a heart attack right now. All right, let's end the show.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody out there in the world, we love you. Thanks for listening. Thank you for the support of 8 Decades. Check out 8decades.com. Check out our website. You'll know my real name if you go in there or look at it. I don't give a fuck. But there's tons of, I've said it before and I'll say it again, there's hundreds of thousands of weed men and weed women and weed people out there. I'm not the only weed man, and I will never be the only weed man. So I have a real name.
Not the first, not the last.
Not the last. I'm just right in the middle, perfectly in the middle.
That's right.
That's it. So anyway, we love you all out there. Thanks for listening. We'll talk all soon. Oh, don't forget our new show, The Grow Hour with Big Earl. We got some really cool things coming up. We're going to be interviewing DVG again, Dungeon Vault Genetics. We just had a great interview with Terp Fiend, which was awesome. We thank him for coming on. We are going to do a Discord giveaway for some beans with Terp Fiend gave us, and also some Big Earl's beans on this Friday, December 16th. Look out for our post. We'll tell you what time. We'll give you the Discord hookup. So got a lot of cool things coming with Big Earl. We're actually recording this week, also finishing up our genetics, and super stoked about everything Mr. and Mrs. Weedman have going on, and with Big Earl and all the people we're partnering with right now. It's just going to be a great 2023, and up and up, and Weedman 420 Chronicles. So thank you everybody out there for the support. We love you so much, and as Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff puff pass.